everybody, it's Amanda from Story and Stone. How are you today? I hope you're all well. I'm here today to do the reading for November for the collective. A bit of housekeeping before we start. The cards I'm using today are the Gold Foil Tarot. And we'll also do a short reading from Denise Linn's Soul Coaching Oracle cards. This reading is for the collective, so it may not necessarily resonate with you, and that's okay. Just take what does and leave the rest. I do offer personal readings. However, I will never approach you and ask you for a reading. So if someone does approach you saying that they're me, do not give them any money. Please report and block them. Okay. So how's your October been? Good, I hope. I hope you've been following along with the weekly readings to go deeper into that. It has been a lot lighter energy, but there is still a lot of work for us to do in regards to releasing the old energy so that newer energy can come in, which we've all been doing. I hope to be able to record the weekly reading for the first week in November tomorrow, hopefully. But as I said in my weekly reading at the beginning of this week, I have been sick and I have had a cough. Now it seems to be okay, but let's see how we go, because usually when I talk a lot is when I start coughing. Okay, so without further ado, let's just get into this while I still have a voice. Okay, so I have already drawn the cards and laid them out. I feel like a lot of us are going to make a decision this month that involves walking away from something that no longer serves us. When I look at the overview cards, we have the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups. God, here we go already. And eights are usually a really good number. When I see an 8, it always tells me that change is coming, but like abundant change. So there's going to be abundance in your life, that type of thing. It can also mean that maybe you're going to screw up and lose money, or you know, like you might be spending more money than you're making, that type of thing. But on the whole, it's usually pretty good. It means that there's abundance coming, which would be great. We're coming into Christmas for those of us that celebrate Christmas, so it's always a pretty expensive time of year. But the Eight of Swords is actually quite... The Eight of Swords, if you look at her, she's tied up, she's blindfolded, she's surrounded by swords. It's this feeling of being trapped, like you have no choice. And I feel like this month we're going to feel like that, like we have no choice, that we're being pushed into doing things that we don't want to do. And I'm just getting their societal demands. That's what they're giving me. So it may not necessarily be from individuals that are pushing you, but rather society's demands or expectations of us, that we feel like we have no choice but to go along with those. And I'm saying, F you. You don't have to do that. You have a choice. If you look at the card, you can see that there's big gaps in the sword. She could just walk through them. The blindfold is slightly up at one corner, so she can actually see out of the blindfold. And the ties that bind her are loose. If she just shimmied, they'd most probably drop to her feet and she would be free. So the big message this month is you are the change you want to see in the world. So if you don't like what's happening to you, change it. Change the way you think. There are often reasons why we let ourselves believe we are trapped. it can be just pure exhaustion. I know I've had situations where I'm just too exhausted to make a different choice. I don't have the strength. And if that is you in this case, then I suggest self-care. Take a break from society, take a break from social media, spend some time by yourself out in nature, doing things that you love. Build that energy back up so that you have the strength to make the changes that you want to see in your world, in your circle of influence. The Eight of Cups, you can see this guy's walking away and he's left all these beautiful golden Eight of Cups there. Often the situations that we feel we need to walk away from, that we feel no longer serve us, to other people or to outside influences, they would see those choices that we're making and going, why is she leaving that job or that person or that place or blah, blah, blah. She's got it made, but nobody knows you like you know you. You know if these situations are making you happy or not. And if they're draining your energy, if they're draining your resources, if they're making you feel frustrated and restless and tired and unhappy, then you need to walk away. And I feel like a lot of us will be finding that we are in situations where we feel like we have no other choice but to walk away. And by walking away, we're now changing our actions. So the card, the Eight of Swords, which was making us feel trapped, by walking away from those situations, we are releasing ourselves from that feeling, from that illusion. So, not the cheeriest month. Welcome to the end of the year. But definitely a little bit lighter than what our first half of our year was. That was, pure fucked up emotion. So, but we still have to do this work. We still have to release. And as I said to you, it's about releasing that old energy. We don't even have to process it anymore. We just need to get rid of it. It wants to go. Just let it go. Why are we hanging on to it? This new energy is waiting to come in, to fill that void. And I know that a lot of us are scared of the unknown. What's going to happen if we don't do what we normally do? We do something different, Yeah, it's pretty scary sometimes, but you just take a deep breath. Ask for guidance, ask for protection, and surround yourself with people who love and support you. So, when I go into the nitty-gritty details, I actually have two really positive cards. So it's sort of saying to you, on the surface, it looks like you have to do some shitty stuff that you don't really want to do. But because you're doing that, you're actually going to have this really great month. So the cards for the details of the overview are the Ten of Pentacles, Ultimate card, and the Three of Wands. So the Ten of Pentacles is about our foundation. It's a lot about our financial foundation, our mundane foundation, career, health, finances, all that sort of stuff. So it's the practical side of life. And when you get to the Ten of Pentacles, it's saying you're the boss. You have done it. You've set yourself up. You have a home, you have people surrounding you who love you, you have good health. You have the ability to help people, to mentor them, to provide for them, to give them a leg up. You've got it made. So maybe to get to that situation this month, you need to make some choices. You need to stop pretending like you're a victim. Stop thinking that you've got no choices, and you need to release what no longer is working for you. And as a reward for doing that, you're going to reach the Ten of Pentacles, the Pentacle card. The Three of Wands is about opportunities. So once again, by doing the work in the overview, you're going to have choices. You look at this card, it's a man with his 3 wands. He's holding one in his hand. He's looking out to the ocean. There are boats on the horizon. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 boats on the horizon. These represent the opportunities out there for you. And the good thing is that you get to pick which opportunity you want to take advantage of. Which boat do you want to wave in to the harbor? You have choices. So don't let the 8 of Swords fool you. You have a choice. You have lots of choices. If you would just take the blindfold off and look, there are choices for you. So really, that's positive, isn't it? That's good. That's something that we want. We want opportunities. We want things to happen in our favor. You know, it's about fucking time. So a really, really positive overview and details to the month, but there is some things that we have to do that we're most probably going to not really like because they make us feel a bit uncomfortable or they make us go out of our comfort zone. Okay, so the challenges for this month. The challenges for this month, we have the Page of Swords and we have a Major Arcana card, the High Priestess. Now, the Page of Swords, he can represent new beginnings, which if you release stuff and you walk away from old stuff, then you do have the opportunities for new beginnings to come in because you've opened up that space. You have a void, so the voids always need to be filled. And the Page of Swords is all about new ideas, new concepts of living. It's that fresh, quick, bright air element that comes in and gives us that enthusiasm for life. Now, the challenge with the Page of Swords is that he can be rather impulsive and reckless. He can step on people to get to where he wants to go. And he can be a bit brash and domineering almost. And he's immature. He's a page. So he hasn't got the experience so much yet. And maybe this card is trying to warn you to just, you know, if you're going into a new avenue of study or work or, you know, whatever it is, whatever that opportunity is, just to remember that you're the new kid on the block. So don't be so arrogant to think that you know it all, because you don't. So this month you may have to curb that enthusiasm that you have for your projects or your opportunities. Just, you know, take it easy. Make sure that you're not stepping on other people's toes, because, you know, people who you step on their toes, they don't want to help you. They want to smack you around the back of the head. So just be aware of who you are stepping on to get to where you want to go, because they're more likely to help you get to where you want to go if you don't step on them. So there might be that challenge where you've got lots of all this enthusiasm and these new ideas and all that sort of stuff, but you don't really want to curb your enthusiasm to wait for everybody else to catch up. The High Priestess, well, we know who she is. She is the divine feminine. She is the esoterical queen. She is the oracle. She is amazing. She's all about our feminine side. She's about our intuition. Even if you are male, still about your feminine side. And I feel like this month, you may be feeling challenged to remember that part of you. So whether there is just a lot of mundane things that are wanting your attention that you can't be distracted from, or whether you're just in a bit of a slump because of the energy that's coming through for this month, that's making you feel uncomfortable. Maybe there is this crisis of faith. They're telling me that as I'm speaking. Maybe you're feeling, is this worth it? What the fuck am I doing here? All those sort of things, they're coming through for me. So I feel like there might be this little bit of a crisis of faith. They keep repeating that to me. And maybe the way we've always done it is not really working for us anymore. And maybe that's something that you have to let go of. You know, especially if you go to a church all the time, if you're part of a religion where you physically and spiritually and emotionally and mentally are active within that religion, maybe you're finding that it doesn't give you the solace or the fulfillment or the satisfaction that it used to. And you're being pressured not to change anything. So it could be something like that as well. If you're like me and you don't follow a religion, but you follow more a spiritual path, a journey with the divine, then maybe you're just feeling a little bit wiped out. Or things haven't gone the way you've planned. So you're wondering, is there really a God, goddess, universe, higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it? Maybe you're feeling like you're wondering if there is someone up there, or whether we're just flailing down here by ourselves and have no control over anything that we do. An existential crisis. Thank you very much. I was trying to think of that word. So it could be a bit like that as well this month. Or on a more mundane level, it could just be that you are having a challenge in keeping your spiritual practice up. That you're finding it challenging because of your schedule. I mean, I know that this month, next week, I have my nieces and nephew to babysit for a week while their parents go away on holiday, and I doubt I'm going to get any spiritual practice time done, unfortunately. So yeah, so there's going to be times like that this month where you may feel like you just don't have the time. And let's face it, we all know the first thing to go when you're busy is the stuff that gives you joyful feelings here in your heart space. That's the first thing we drop, and it should be the last thing we drop. But it's not, it's the first thing we drop. So this month, maybe it's something more mundane like that. Then we finally come to the opportunities for this month. We have the Page of Cups, and we have another major arcana card, the Justice card. Okay, so Page of Cups straight away. It can literally mean that good news is coming. Yes, please. Could do with some good news. He also could stand for a person that is very much a person who wears their heart on their sleeve. They're very very romantic, and they're in love with love. And if you meet someone like this, you could be swept off your feet by someone like this. And it doesn't have to be a young person. It can be someone who has a young at heart type attitude. So you might have to deal with someone like that. It could also be that you have the opportunity to maybe mentor someone like this, help them see that it's better to maybe get to know someone before you give your heart to them. It could just be that you have this opportunity maybe to experience that energy for a little bit, remembering that once that in love feeling goes, these people will usually disappear out of your life, because that's the feeling that they're following all the time. So you might have an opportunity to have some romance in your life, and that's great. But just remember that, if it is someone new in your life, that they won't hang around once that first flush of love has disappeared. But as I said, it could just be that there is good news coming. an opportunity is coming for you through good news, and it's up to you whether you take advantage of it or not. The Justice card. Now, the Justice card is about balance. So I feel like this is an opportunity for you this month to maybe balance your life out a little bit more. As I said, you're most probably going to be quite pushed this month in doing things like your spiritual practice, but it could also lead to also you don't have time for self-care or exercise or cooking nourishing meals or, all those other things that we do in our life. So there is this Justice card is about creating balance, creating an equilibrium in your life that allows you to have the self-care, to have the spiritual practice, but to also be there for your family and your friends and your job or your career or your business. And it may be looking at ways that you can make your life more balanced. On a really mundane level, it could be if you are in a court case at the moment or in a legal suit, that you could have an outcome and it hopefully will be in your favor. Usually it will be in your favor, but because this is a reading for collective, sort of tweaks that meaning a little bit. So if you are having legal problems at the moment, hopefully they will be positively sorted out for you in your favor. So it could be that. So I feel like overall your opportunities this month are to bring some to balance into your life. And when I say that balance, sorry, they're just bringing in another message for that card. But when I'm talking about balance, I'm also talking about your behavior. So sometimes when the hand of justice comes down, we expect it to come to the other person that we might be arguing with or have a problem with. And sometimes it comes back on us. So I think this card is really asking us this month, are you behaving in a way that is just and fair? Or are you being a little bit sneaky and backhanded with the people that you deal with? So there's that question as well. There's this opportunity for you to look at your behavior. Are you being just? Are you being fair to everybody involved? Is it a win-win situation? Or are you being a little bit underhanded, backstabbing, a little bit manipulative or sly? And if you are, you can't help but get that karma back. So you need to be aware of that. And if you are thinking, oh yeah, I have been a little bit manipulative this month, or I manipulated that situation to get what I wanted, maybe you need to make retribution for that. Not retribution, sorry. Maybe you need to make amends for that, to put some good karma back in there so that you don't get the full karma in, because sometimes the Justice card can mean that karma is coming to you. So there's some opportunities there for you to look at your behavior, to look at the way you live your life. Is there anything that is really significantly unbalanced, and how can you balance that back up? And as I said, if you are in a legal battle at the moment, or you're having some problems with the law, then hopefully it will be resolved in your favor. And also just to remember that that Page of Cups air, you could have someone that you need to deal with who's very much hard on their sleeve, romantic type person, and to not get too carried away with it, but to enjoy that energy while it's there. Okay, so that's the main reading done. Let's see what the soul coaching cards have to say for us. So what does the collective soul, what guidance does the collective soul want to give the collective for the month of November? Okay. So I've drawn 3 cards. We have beginnings, adventure, and surrender. Now, beginnings is very fitting for the cards that I've just been discussing in the main reading, because there is going to be some endings. And of course, if you have an ending, then you have to fill that void with a new beginning. So these cards, our collective soul wants us to know that there's lots of new beginnings coming through at the moment, and to be open to adventure, because that's the second card that comes through. Be willing to step out of your comfort zone. That's the main message they want me to give you for this adventure card. Be willing to step out of your comfort zone. You know, we can never move forward unless we're willing to do that. If you're not willing to take risks, then you stay in the same position. You know, so you have to be willing to make risks, to take calculated risks. Not stupid, I'm not thinking straight risks, but just calculated risks. Step out of your comfort zone. Say yes to something that you wouldn't normally say yes to. But also be open to the fact that if you get that feeling in your stomach that says, this is not good for me, be willing to and brave enough to say no to that. But don't make no your default. Think about it. Is this opportunity good for me? Will this date be good for me? Will this new job be good for me? Will this weekend away be good for me? Should I try hiking or painting or singing or joining this group or doing this or that? So adventure doesn't always have to mean, you know, whitewater rafting or bungee jumping. That's not the only adventures that we have. You know, you think about little kids, you know, sometimes to them, their adventure day is going to a park that they've never been to before. So think about adventure from that point of view, not from the way we think of adventure in mainstream terms, you know. So what adventure can you add to your life? Where can you step out of your comfort zone so that you can experience different things? And the last card for the soul coaching cards is surrender. Now, I've been doing a lot of personal work on surrender lately. It's really important that we surrender, that we let go, that we release. And it's very hard for us sometimes to surrender, especially if you have to surrender something that you've worked really hard on, or you feel like you've given it your all and it's just not meant for you. And so to release that can be quite a depressing and sad thing to do, you know. But still, if you want something new to come into your life, you have to surrender the old. And as I said just previously in the video, the old energy needs to go. It doesn't want to be here. You don't need to process it. You don't need to dwell in it. You just need to let it go. Because we've got these new beginnings coming in. We've got this new energy coming in. And it can't come in until you surrender and let go of what no longer serves you. So that's about it for today. I really, really hope you have enjoyed it. I'm so happy that I have managed to only cough a couple of times and actually got to the end of this video. So have a great month. I truly, truly hope that you have an easy time of letting go of what no longer serves you. And, you know, I'm trained as a holistic counselor, so if you need to see somebody, please take a look at my website and see what I can offer you, or give me a call or an email and I can discuss with you to see what's doing. I am also, by the way, I'll just quickly announce, I am relaunching my business in a couple of weeks' time, 2 or 3 weeks' time, because I now have somewhere where I can see clients. And I have recently been certified as a moonologist. So if you follow Yasmin Boland's Moonology Facebook group or her YouTube channel or her website, or you've read her books, I'm actually now certified to do moonology readings, hold new moon rituals, full moon rituals, and all that sort of good moony stuff. So I'll be giving more information on that shortly. I'm just doing a lot of work in the background at the moment so that I can be ready when I'm ready to relaunch. I do have a newsletter as well. If you sign up for that at the moment, there is a 10% discount for my services, for the first service that you have. But there will be other freebies and things going on in regards to the newsletter. It's going to be the best way to keep up to date with the changes that are coming through for Story and Stone. Do I need to tell you anything else? I don't think I do. I can't think of anything. So if I do, I will put it in the notes below for the video, or I will put it as a separate post. So, okay, I've warbled on quite enough today. So have a great month. Check into the weekly readings, because they go into more depth for the energy for the actual week. And I will see you in the next video.